Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna be waterproofing 150 square meters of a flat roof over a hotel, okay? And this is not an ordinary roof. As you can see, we have plenty of air conditioning units, plenty of different machines. It's not an easy one, okay? We have a couple of soft spots. One here, one there, and one on the other side. Also, this is a suspended roof, okay? So what happened here was there was a roof and it was leaking for years and nobody could get it right. So they built another roof on top of a roof. So now this roof is leaking into another roof and that roof is leaking into the hotel. And let me show you. There you go. So this is the inner section. We have a wet vacuum and we're gonna be vacuuming the water out as we clean the roof, because this roof has to be spotless before we start any waterproofing works. Before we start cleaning the roof, we have to move some of the air conditioning units. We have some air conditioning units here and they are laid on planks of wood, and the planks of wood are sitting on the roof here. So in order to remove the planks, we have to move the air conditioning units. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hang them using some belts. Waterproof the roof, and then we're gonna lay them back down on some insulation. Before we start power washing the roof, we have to survey the roof for any cracks and holes in the roof like this one. So imagine if we started power washing the roof, this would completely flood the entire hotel, okay? So what we would do is we would waterproof those spots first with some liquid material, just for the time being. So when we have the roof power washed, then we're gonna rip it all out and do the repairs properly. These repairs here are just gonna be done in case, just so we don't flood the roof. To temporarily seal the roof, we're using some high solid silicone. It's brushed on. We're not using any tapes, we're not using any mesh. This is only a temporary repair. When we have the roof power washed, we're gonna rip it all out and do it properly. And here we have another one. Now, it doesn't look major, but I know that crack like that would let a serious amount of water into the roof, okay? We start with detailed cleaning of the roof, and to clean the roof, we're gonna use the Geico wash. It's like a washing up liquid for roofs. We mix it 1 to 10, sprinkle it across the roof, and let it do its work for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna wash it up. Now we have the lads power washing the roof from both angles, and the roof is getting flooded as we speak. So we have a wet vacuum and we're hoovering the water out as we wash the roof. we have the roof clean and dry, and now we're starting to carry out some repairs. We had a soft spot here where after cutting out the plywood, it was absolutely rotted. So we're going to replace it with some new OSB, and we're going to follow the system over everything.
So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe. When you got me, you got me, you got me feeling right. I know that there's something so special about you and me, babe. You got me, you got me, you got me feeling fine. So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe.
Okay guys, so maybe a couple of words about how we dry and clean this type of a roof. Now, as you could imagine, it's a large commercial roof with plenty of areas where you literally can't get in. And in order for us to apply the system, we have to have the roof bone dry. So this is what we would use. We would first take the water away with a wet vacuum, and then we would use industrial roof dryer. Now, you've probably never seen something like that. It's a very rare machine. You can't even hire those. We had to buy one, and it was specially ordered from America. So this is what it is. Basically, it gets hooked into a gas, and then it blows hot air at a rapid speed, and that way we can dry the likes of this roof in literally no time. So we rarely use that machine, but when we do, it saves us a lot of time. When we're bringing the waterproofing system over to the metal, now in this occasion you can see rusty metal. So what would happen if we applied the waterproofing system onto it? Now the rust would probably bubble it in a year or two. So what we use here is we get wire brush, we brush the steel, and then we apply the Brunox rust converter. Okay, I don't know where you can get it. We get it from Germany. We buy it in bulk. I'm sure you can buy it somewhere in Dublin. It's one of the best rust converters on market right now. Most of the repairs are done across the roof. Now we have to start getting back between those air conditioning units and start masking taping. But this is gonna be fun. Jesus Christ, imagine trying to do this job in felt. Now, we got this job not because of the price. We got this job because of the system that we proposed. There was 2 other people pricing for this job, and they priced for felt. Now, imagine being in charge of a place like this, and a roofer comes in and he says that he's gonna do this in felt. Now, I can barely squeeze in here. Now, imagine trying to torch. It's physically impossible. Liquid waterproofing in the likes of these places is the only solution, the only successful solution. This is how tight this job is. So we have one lad doing the flashings there, one lad is priming, and I'm going behind him. It only takes 10 minutes for the primer to set. I'm going right behind him, and I'm applying the lava system in combination with this matting. It's super tight in here.
There's something so special about you and me, babe. You got me, you got me, you got me feeling fine. So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe. When you got me, you got me, you got me feeling right. When you got me, you got me, you got me.
The entire roof now is watertight. It's basically finished. So what we're doing now is we're doing some yellow walkway for the fire exit, and then we're gonna do a gray walkway that's going into the storeroom. And the reason that it has to be in 2 colors is that if somebody walks out from the hotel, this is supposed to be a fire exit. So if there was 2 yellow walkways, it could be confusing. So people could run that way instead of that way. So that's why we're using this. This is a nice gray quartz, so it's 90% gray and 10% white, and then we have yellow. The bag is closed, so I'm not gonna show you, but I'll show you in a minute. And then we're using gray top coat resin on the entire roof. It's a bit of an overkill, but for the likes of these projects, we rather use the full shebang, the full system. Usually this system would be hunky-dory and good at the spec that it is now. because it is already 2 coats on the fleece. So putting grey resin over the entire roof is such an overkill, but this is what we're doing here. So what we're doing now is we're fitting the walkway. So what we want to do is we want to masking tape every walkway to the measurements that we want. I'm making the other one, the yellow one, about 600 wide, and this one about 1 meter wide, because this one will be used. It will be used a lot for service and other stuff. So we're making it a little bit bigger than the other one, and there's more room here, so that's another reason. Now at this stage we have the top coat resin applied over the Lava 20, and now all we have left is to do the walkways. Let's do a quick walk around before we start doing the resin. The roof is now completely waterproof. All we're doing is some walkways. We're using yellow quartz for the fire exit, which is going this way, and then we're using grey on this line. We're starting with the anti-slip, and the way we do it is that we paint the clear resin in the area where we want to achieve the anti-slip finish, just the way we see it here, and then we sprinkle the stones on top of it, and we come back tomorrow, blow off the excess of stones, and then apply another coat of that resin. And this system is super durable, and it's also flexible at the same time. It can be used in car parks, walkways. You can buy any colors of this stone that you desire. Oh, this is the clear resin. If anybody has any questions about the systems or products that we use in our videos, you can check the link below. We have links to the websites where you can buy this stuff, or you can give us a call and we can always advise you on what to do on what roof. If you're doing something for yourself, we don't mind. Okay, maybe a couple of words about the system that we're using on this roof, because this is completely different to what you usually see us doing. 70% of the time we're using liquid silicone membranes, which are cheaper, but they are a lot different. The liquid silicone is easier to install and it will last the same amount of time, but it's a lot softer because it's based on silicone. This system is based on polyurethane chemistry, okay? And you can see we have the fiber fleece all the way through the roof. So it's much heavier duty job. It will last even car park traffic. The grey walkway leading to the storeroom is now done, and now we're applying the yellow, the fire exit, which is going this way. And tomorrow when this is set, we're gonna blow the excess of stones and apply another coat of resin. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna finish the grey resin just here at that line. Yesterday we finished doing the walkways in the yellow and the grey, and today we have to blow the excess of stones that didn't stick. You can just use a normal brush or you can use a hoover, the way we're doing it over there, okay? And this is what it looks like when you brush the excess of stones, okay? So now we're gonna apply the coat of clear resin, and we're gonna go a little bit further than we should, because then when that resin sets, I'm gonna apply the masking tape about 15 mil behind here, okay? So this grey resin is gonna go to about there, and then you have a nice lighter grey line, and then you're gonna have your walkway, and it's gonna have nice and neat lines and corners. That's why I like doing that, You're gonna see when it's finished, it's gonna look great. The job is officially finished, so let's just do a quick walk around. The lads are just cleaning up. And the walkways turned out really nice. The owners are really pleased with the result. And as I mentioned before, the little line between this and this gives that little bit of a straight line, which I really like. This system could easily finish over here, but I think this looks really nice. So we have the yellow. This is anti-slip, okay? Cars could literally drive on this. This is how hard this is. And it's also flexible at the same time. So it will expand and contract. Very important aspect of roof waterproofing using liquids is this. Non-return vents. So basically what we did, there was some soft spots in those areas. So what we did was we cut out the wood, we replaced it with a new deck, and then in those places we fit vents, just in case if there was any remaining moisture in the roof substrate, it will evaporate instead of blistering the system. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the other end, and we also fitted one here on this, let's say, manhole. So what we have there is the inner section of the roof, which I showed you before, which now is bone dry. Before, what the owners of this place had to do, they had a wet vacuum every morning, vacuuming water from the inner section from that roof. Yeah, this roof is indestructible now. As I said before, we usually use 2 different types of systems for the likes of this roof. Liquid silicone or polyurethane, which is this. This is the super hard wearing stuff. It's twice the price, but it does the job. As you can see, it's indestructible. This was a very hard piece. Yep. Imagine trying to get in there to do details around those pipes. This wouldn't be possible with any other system than this one. That's why we're so successful with getting these jobs. Because who is our competition? Majority of the roofers are felters or TPO or any single ply membrane. But you cannot physically do these jobs using those systems. How are you meant to get there? It's just physically impossible. Perfect.